Welcome to Lords of the Long Box presents the Cover Price Shakers of the Week, the Thursday show that fills you full of disappointment when you look at the books that are on this list. But you know what? I have confidence that most of you will at least have.
It's something to shoot for. It's a goal in life. You know what I mean?
There's some books in there that are kind of rare, but there's other ones I think you got a good chance of getting. You know what I mean? So while you guys are congregating, here's the new track that I played on Tuesday. For those who missed it on Tuesday, I got to play it again because it's super hype, and it'll get you hype.
Hell, man, come on.
The word.
Come on. I was jamming back here.
All right, I'm going to play it again. No, I'm just kidding. Hey,
oh, my God. Everyone will freak.
Welcome to the Cover Price Shakers List, boys and ghouls. When we look at this list comes from our friends at Cover Price, focusing on the new sales or the most interesting sales data found on their exclusive daily Shakers List. This list changes several times daily to make sure you check it out every day for some of the hottest trending books on the market. And if you see, we have a special guest with us, Matt DeVoe from Cover Price. Say what's up to everybody.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, thanks for always showing up on the show. It's always fun to send this list out, and you guys do such a great job covering it. It's I know I'm a little biased, but it's one of my favorite shows to watch.
This is the most unique list on the internet because there's for some of the stuff you find and research, I'm like, good Lord.
It's cool. It's cool. I mean, there's stuff from 37. I mean, 40.
This
50.
stuff that we show is some of my favorite stuff. Is the weird and the unique sales.
Yeah,
it's so much fun to talk about that.
Weird and unique. Speaking of weird and unique, Otto, say what's up.
So I'm as unique as it gets tonight, baby. What's up, Matt? I'm sorry, I was busy. I was just on Cover Price, and my collection has gone up exponentially for some reason. We have a big
don't bury the lead. We're gonna talk about that after we do the list. We're gonna go over to the Cover Price, and we're gonna look at some of the new features that are on there. Speaking of features, JB, say what's up to the good people.
What's up, everybody? This is the Thursday night crowd. This is the Thursday night show. This show's gonna be fire tonight. I'll tell you what. This list is unlike that same show that seems to be the same books over and over again. No, this is way better. Welcome to the show, folks. Get ready to have a good time.
And speaking of Dark Side Jedi, with
Speaking
his
of a good
Robin
time.
hat,
All right. Yeah. Hey, everybody. It's Dark Side Jedi. It's everybody. It's Lords of Longbox. We're here. It's Thursday night. And this list, not only is it a cool list, there's a lot of information. So bear with us and let's get it going.
yeah. In other words, Ryan's like, I got the one with the most notes on it.
Yeah, he did get the long
I like to
read.
challenge you guys. We like to make it a little wordy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and then sometimes I'm like I throw up the wrong graphic. I'm like, it keeps you on your toes, man.
Yeah.
But once again, this show is sponsored by our friends over at CovrPrice.com. Go to CovrPrice.com where you can sign up for a 2-week free trial, or you can sign up for a $2.99 for limited access, or for the price of a McRib meal, you can get full-blown access for $69 a month. That's right. We don't use cryptocurrency. We use McRib currency. That's how we say things around here. The show is also sponsored by our friends at KRScomics.com. Use the discount code of LOTLB for all your KRS Comics exclusives. And you know what? I don't want to show this because I don't want to get everybody,
boy.
Titillated.
This drops tomorrow,
Ooh.
boys and girls.
Oh.
This Star Wars Bounty Hunters variant. It's gonna go pre-order
Seconds.
starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. I should tell you 1 p.m. so I make sure I have enough copies and it doesn't sell
At noon
out.
Eastern, it'll be sold out at noon 01.
Yeah.
So,
this,
am I wrong? Is that a homage of Wolverine 1?
You are
yeah.
correct.
Now that I think about it, around.
You are
Gotta
absolutely
be. I mean,
correct.
that's the first thing I thought of when I saw the finger like that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
number one.
Well, that's not the
it's a
first thing
clear
I
call
thought
out.
of when I seen the finger like that. The show's already going off the rails. By the way, this show is for adults only, just in case you didn't know. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Pressable Defects, Spine Ticks in the house. Sith Lord Lee holding it down with a wrench. Everybody in the good, my man Josh Ramirez. Man, there's a bunch of you in there at 95 already. So we've killed enough time to get to 100 people 5 minutes into the show. So let's get right to it, boys and girls. So this is the weekly Shakers list. This is not like the Cover Price Top 10, where we look at big sales that occurred since the last time we did the show. So basically over the span of a week. So let's kick it off with the first one. What do we got, Dark Side Jedi?
All right, the first one today is Age of Ultron number 10. This is the Angela wraparound sketch variant by Joe Quesada. Persistent rumors of Angela being introduced into the MCU via Guardians continue to drive this variant to new heights, including this week's sale of $650 for a CGC 9.8. This issue marks her first introduction into the pages of Marvel after a long-heated legal battle between Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman. In 1993, McFarlane hired several esteemed creators to guest write on Spawn. This included Frank Miller, Alan Moore, Dave Sims, and Neil Gaiman. Gaiman co-created both Angela and Medieval Spawn, introducing both characters in Spawn number 9. And per Gaiman, it was agreed that he would retain the rights to the character. Of course, McFarlane claimed he was simply a work for hire. With no official contract, this became a heated debate and went to court, leaving Gaiman the winner of a substantial settlement. While the specifics of that settlement are unknown, 10 years later, McFarlane settled the dispute by giving Gaiman ownership of just Angela. A year later, Gaiman sold the character to Marvel, making her a sister of Thor. While this variant is now exceptionally high due to her being on the cover, the standard cover is a great investment as it currently sells for only $2.
What?
God,
Yeah,
some
of
of
course,
them really
yeah.
weirded me out there. I heard myself all of a sudden.
Yeah, especially if you think about Spawn number 9, is actually the first appearance of Angela. This is the first appearance. What's I find interesting about this is I don't want to say it's hypocrisy or not, but the whole idea of Image being founded was they wanted to have control of what they created. And basically, Neil Gaiman created this, and then Todd McFarlane said, "No, it belongs to
Right.
you know what I mean." So it's kind of like Todd. Todd's familiar with being sued. He was also sued by a hockey player for I think for an action figure as well. So if you guys haven't seen it, I forgot if it's on Sci-Fi Channel or something. It was like a Todd McFarlane documentary. It's pretty interesting how how he built his empire. He never mentioned Neil Gaiman once though, but they did talk about the hockey player that sued him because Todd McFarlane used his likeness without his permission to make. Remember when he was making the NHL action figures?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. Todd and litigation they go hand in hand. So
And that's a great cover too.
yeah, I wanted to show the actual whole wraparound cover, but it would have took up the
Yeah.
whole screen. It's a
Yeah, it's a
really
lot.
dope wraparound cover, and it's a 1 in 100. So there you go, man. So for $650 for 9.8.
There's a color version of this too.
Yeah, for some reason, the black and white sketch, people dig it. You know what I mean?
Digging it.
Yep.
All right, what do we got next there, JB?
All right, next up on the list, we've got the all-new Marvel Now .1 issue number 1, originally published in 2014 from Marvel Comics. All right, so this full appearance of Kamala in costume as Miss Marvel hit crazy new raw highs this week. It had 2 big sales of $300 and $404. And then these high sales come off this book's overall new high sale of $1,500 for a CGC 9.8,
Wow.
which was a price reserved for the second print. So you know what that means. Expect a price bump on that one coming.
Yep.
Yo.
Man.
When these Marvel .1s first came out, people didn't really think much of them until because I remember when they came out, there was no big deal. And then people started realizing, wait a second, there was like a first appearance cameo, because I believe they're just little actual stories of the actual first appearance, right? In the .1s, they're like 4 or 5 little stories. So I meant, like they say, there's gold in them there hills. I'm trying to think the other .1. There's the Miles Morales .1. That's the other big one too, right?
Well,
No,
the other
the,
one is
Sam Alexander.
Sam Alexander.
Sam Alexander.
Yes.
Yeah. Miles is Marvel Preview 95. Excuse me. I just had to choke on bullshit for a second. All right. So all new Marvel Now .1 issue number 1 from 2014. A cool $404 for a raw dog.
and that's going to go up as we get to our show. It's still going to go. This is just the beginning of this movement.
Yeah, because we've seen pictures of her, but I always say, once we see a trailer, people will start buying it. Like, they know she's coming, but until we actually see a trailer, they don't believe it. But, go figure. But anyway, it's always picture, trailer, and then, full-blown first episode, and then people really start buying it up. So that's just the way read the tea leaves, and that's the way the market's flowing. So all new Marvel .1 is another one that's been on here for a while. All right, what's next, Otto?
All right, we got. Well, I just want to say, if you've gone 0 for 2, you're probably 0 for 3 on this. This is Bitterroot number 1. This is the version copied from Image in 2018. Bitterroot by David Walker, Sanford Green, and Chuck Brown is a fan favorite series. It's a fun series, great read, and it's got some killer covers. This fanfare and content announcement and development with Legendary since March of 2019 has helped this first issue and its various covers increase steadily since its release. While the focus has always been on My Comic Shop, the Akira variant, the Borderlands variant quickly caught up, both selling for around $1.50, $150. However, this version cover is now in the running after this week's raw sale of $100. There are 5 other covers. There's a standard, cover B, cover C, cover D, and a second print, all very affordable. Now is a great time to pick some of those up. However, that second print has completely disappeared. So that's going to be the tough one to find right there.
Ooh.
Yep. Totally gone.
I gotta ask
is a lot of
RP, what is 1.5 of 3, RP? You gotta explain yourself on what do you mean by what was the
Yeah, I
1.5?
need a 1.5.
Yeah.
He had it.
We got
and
the color one.
red-
I don't know.
Yeah. The only Bitterroot comic I have is the homage to what was it? Purple Rain?
Prince.
Was that
Purple
the
Rain,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, I
that's the
think that
only
was
Bitterroot.
issue 6 or
Yeah, and I only got that because of the homage to Prince, because I also have the Bat Girl one. I
Yeah.
think is the Bat
Yes.
Girl one. So I'm a sucker
the
for
movie
like,
poster one.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for movie posters one, man. But
Do you have
Bitterroot.
the Snake Eyes one? That's the gold one.
No,
Okay.
well, my favorite one is the Enter the Dragon one. And I think both DC and Marvel did it. I think it was a Grayson issue for the Enter the Dragon, and then there's the Wolverine one, which is my favorite, hands down, the movie posters.
Yeah.
And there was also another DC one for
The Lost Boys.
Matrix too.
Yeah.
There was a Matrix cover, so there you go. Bitterroot, the Virgin variant from 2018, a cool $100 for a raw dog. Next up is a book most of you should have, man. This is kind of a staple in collections. Hopefully you aren't priced out. What is it?
Well, let's take it back to 1977. This is Black Panther number 1, and it's a common pattern. The first appearance of an immortal character rises in price so much that it's out of reach for most folks. So they look for other cool ways to collect the character. We have the same situation here with Black Panther. Black Panther's first appearance in Fantastic Four 52 has been on an absolute tear since mid 2020, with even mid-grade copies approaching $2,000. When this happens, some look to the second print, others look to the first solo series. That brings us to today's big-time shaker, Black Panther #1 from 1977.
$4,000.
Yeah, man.
Dang, man.
With that cover from none other than the king himself, Jack Kirby, a 9.8 recently sold at auction after a fearsome 79 bid for an all-time high of $4,191. Wow. Absolutely shattering previous records of 2,100 set in February of this year. Yeah. This book is not exactly rare in 9.8 condition with 240 copies on the CGC census, but there are no recorded higher grade copies. So a 9.8 is the best you're going to get at this point. Considering back in April 2020, you could have gotten a CGC 9.8 copy for as little as $650.
Oh, man.
In a six-fold rise in a single year, it's very impressive. While we don't exactly know what direction Marvel will take the Black Panther franchise in the wake of Chadwick Boseman's death, we are with comic fans in our excitement for what's to come. And that is no doubt.
Yeah, this is classic because not only is it a first issue, it's also Jack Kirby.
Yeah, right.
I mean, most people can't afford the Fantastic Four issue and then, all the Shuri stuff. But this one is, I've had this one for a while and I can never crack a 9.8 in it. You know what I mean? Wherever I found it, it was always like a VF or VF Plus or 9.4, but 9.8 for 4,000. That's awesome, man.
But what's interesting to me,
Wolverine didn't we just see Wolverine #1 just go like this? I bet you we're going to see a run on this episode. Right? Their first book.
It's interesting with Black Panther, like Chadwick's death should have crashed prices on Black Panther, right? You should have because we're not going to see him obviously as Black Panther anymore. Usually pre-COVID, it would have killed all values. And other books would have risen as someone else steps into the mantle. But that is quite the opposite. Like Black Panther books have only gotten hotter. And it's interesting.
I think the expectation level is he is going to be recast. Yeah. I like people really think there's going to be another T'Challa. It's still early. They still have time, to work out. I think the release date on Black Panther 2. So time heals all wounds.
I mean, come on, guys. The Hulk has had 3 different actors.
Yeah.
Okay. We can.
How many Batmans have we had?
We can switch
How many
an actor.
Jokers have we had? We can switch
before. Yeah, exactly.
How many Supermans have we had? Come on, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the difference
Spider-Mans.
is, there's a huge difference though. Is the character didn't die prematurely at the height of his popularity?
Joker.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But you can't. I don't think you can really equate Joker to what Chadwick Boseman and Black Panther did for a segment of people, a whole continent of, you know what I mean? Yeah. It was just such a big cultural icon, and that's why the loss hit so many people different. It hit them hard. Like like when Kobe passed away, right? When people pass away at an old age, but then when they pass away prematurely, it's like, different. It's like, Heath Ledger when he passed away as the Joker, this Black Panther had a huge cultural influence, and so
it changed everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Let it move on with a new actor. That's great.
Well,
if you don't do an actor, how are you going to do Black Panther? I guess that's what I'm saying.
If you do it too soon, though, you I guess fans giving them time to mourn before you could just come out because. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? If you do it too soon, they'll say you are big corporate shields, you don't care about people, blah blah blah, let the man rest. Or the other group is saying, hey, we love the Black Panther character, let's keep it going. So we shall see, man. It's going to be interesting on where they go with it. You know what I mean?
Multiple people have held the mantle of Black Panther, right? I mean.
Yeah, but it's mostly T'Challa. Shuri has done it a little bit, but I just don't see that actress physically doing the role of Black Panther. I think ideally Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan would be the best Black Panther. That would be awesome somehow. If they could bring back anybody.
He did in a comic, right? Wasn't it an Iron Man annual, I believe?
Yeah, he was, I think he was at it for one time. There's a whole generation of different, it's a mantle, right? It's not really a character, but it's just T'Challa's been in it for the longest time. So Black Panther, #1 from 1977. Some good old Kirby goodness. All right. This is the part of the list where people started throwing up goose eggs, man. So what do we got next?
All right. Here we go. Captain N, the Game Master, #1. Published in 1990 from Valiant and Acclaim. Now, if you were a child of the 80s, and man, I was, then you'll most likely remember this Saturday morning cartoon sharing the name of this comic. And with nostalgia such a driving force in today's market heat, this Nintendo-based comic just hits the right feels, if you know what I mean. Now, however, it also has a lot to do. It also has a lot more than that just going for it. This issue features the first comic appearances of multiple Nintendo characters like Captain N, Samus Aran of Metroid, Pit Kid Icarus, Donkey Kong, Mother Brain, King Hippo, Little Mac of Punch Out, and the NES
Little Mac.
Zapper. Right? Little Mac of Punch Out and the NES Zapper and Super Power Pad. And these early appearances are not well known and fly under the radar for most comic fans. However, Nintendo collectors have been buying these up for years. In this week's new high sale of $485 for a CGC 9.8, man, it's just the beginning.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry,
this is one of my favorite books. Yeah,
I have never heard of Captain N. Go ahead, Matt.
No, Captain N was only in the animated series, and he was also in. If you had Nintendo Power, he was a returning character through that. But what's happening now is these characters have been introduced into games like Smash Brothers. So Kid Icarus, Donkey Kong, Little Mac is a character now on Smash Brothers. So younger kids are now getting used to these characters and getting to know them.
So do you think these are the people that look out for these comics are the same people that get games graded?
Oh yeah, there's a huge spillover. Like I'm specifically a video game comic book collector. That's kind of one of my niches. And there's been a pocket of us for the past 5 years, but now game collectors, which has been hot for the last 10 years, are spilling over into comics and getting these rare comics. Everything Nintendo based is hot right now.
Yeah.
So my next guess is, when will athlete first appearances in comics start jumping? Because you know how sport grading cards are jumping now. I mean, because there's, I think, a LeBron comic. There's definitely a Jordan comic. I mean, I'm wondering when that world will spill over, because I already know that the trading card people are starting to buy like key issues, because they're.
Well,
it's only a matter of time.
Marvel's doing rookie card variants right now. So they have them doing various moves on the court, essentially. And
that's smart.
It's odd. It's odd, but it makes sense because sports card collectors are moving on into comic books. So it's weird to see those investors spilling over into our world and vice versa.
Yeah. Actually, our friends at KRS Comics are doing one of them. I think it's a Miles rookie card.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to do well. I mean, I guess it's all started with that silly X-Force card, right? With the Deadpool rookie card. Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was the biggest joke in the world, that X-Force one. That was the go-to pun we had. This industry went nuts if X-Force ever took off, and it happened.
Yeah, for the wrong reason.
Yeah, right. For the totally wrong reason.
But I'm pretty sure Todd McFarlane or Rob Liefeld will take credit for that trading card. So there you go. Right. Captain N, the Game Master, issue #1 from 1990, man. 9.8, so for $485. Good luck if you could find it, man. All right, next up. Oof, I love this book.
I know. If you know what? If it's not on this show, it's on the other show. Invincible Iron Man #9, 2016. We know that this is a Riri Williams. That's finally announced. Riri. I need to hear that again. Say it again.
Riri, not Riri.
I know.
Okay.
It's finally announced to appear.
That was someone who's been drinking.
Well, plus Disney Plus. Who knows? I am on vacation. Her first key issue saw huge bumps in price. However, there was a big debate on what her go-to key versus first appearance should be. The debate lies with her 2-panel cameo appearance with dialogue and named at the end of #7 versus her first full in issue #9. Early on, the market favored 7, and this was supported by the issue's third print cover with the call out the badge featuring the first appearance of Riri Williams on it. It's hard to argue with the publisher themselves. However, the market has chosen number 7, sells for $275 at a 9.8, and a number 9 had a high sale of $999.98 for a 9.8. So you need to be a genius to see that issue number 9 is the clear winner on this. So that's it.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't love it because I have 2 9.8s and I got them for cover price, but but I also I think the Woman in Power variant, I have that one. Is that issue number 7? I'm trying to remember.
That's number 7. Yep.
Yeah. So I have that one as well, but I think those came back 9.6. So I'm pulling for this one for obvious selfish reasons because
Well, then there's a lot of debates. It moves on. Like she's not in her actual armor until on the cover of Invincible Iron Man number 1. And then she's not in her current armor until I think number 4 or something like that. It's so muddy.
Those debates just get tedious after a while. But like we said, if you don't FOMO, get them all.
That's right.
We're a little pricey now, but earlier you should have just gotten them all. I'm trying to think of what character in the future where that's going to happen, where they first appear as himself, then he appears as another character, then he appears as another character. I mean, it's there's in comics history, there's for good or bad for the collector, because if you miss on a one, you can get the other one. So if you don't want to miss out, get them all. So Invincible Iron Man number 9 from 2016. I still think that's affordable. 9.8 for $800. Just wait till her show pops up. I think this is going to blow up even past. It's going to be a 4-figure book easily.
I think number 7 still. I think that's a pretty good price. I think that's still a book to jump into.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Up next, we can't have a show without this comic because this comic is the one that's just chugging away like the Energizer Bunny.
Keeps on ticking.
There it is.
Yeah, Something's Killing the Children number 1. This is the American Library Association limited to 1,000 copies variant.
Wow.
So as if this massively successful series and first issue needed another pricey book, we present you this immensely hard to find American Library Association edition of the first issue. At the 2020 ALA Midwinter Conference and Exhibition, this promotional edition of Something is Killing the Children was handed out to attendees. The book is identical to the standard cover except for the back cover, which features Boom's national marketing and publicity campaign for this title. This campaign schedule really highlights how much Boom put behind this title. This week, we saw the first sale of $1,000 for a raw copy. Keep in mind, Keep in mind, though, that most attendees were not diehard comic book fans, so copies are few and far between, and most likely not in near mint condition. As you say, honey, put this in your purse.
Yeah.
Who's an ALA member here?
Exactly. I've never even heard of this. So, Matt, I'm looking at the cover. Is there anything on the cover that tells you it's a?
There's nothing on the cover. It looks identical. The back is just literally all these dates and a schedule of where Boom was taking this book on tour, and one of them, like number 2, was the ALA.
Back your books, kids.
Oh, for sure. Who knows? But this is something that these attendees probably just stuck in the bag of their other free books, and it's sitting in a closet. I'm sure
I can only imagine 9.8s are gonna, if there are any, on the census, because the American Library Association of people, like they were really caring about bagging and boarding their books, right?
Nope, they just threw it in and probably even tossed it, left in the hotel, because this is a convention for everything, for children's books, novels. It's like it's everything. So the fact that the Boom was there hawking comics is actually great for the industry because they're trying to get more attention, especially from the Library Association, to like carry this book. So it's an interesting one. It's kind of a moment in time. It just shows what they were doing with this book at the time. You're not going to see it. It's not going to pop up that often.
That's crazy. So there you go. Look on the back cover if you come across one. You never know because somebody may be sitting one at their LCS or at a show or something. But, by this time, I've never heard of it, to be honest with you. So it
was literally the first one that popped up. Yeah.
Wow. $1,000 for a raw comic. So,
and this was a
$1,000.
year later. You know, it took a year for one copy to hit eBay.
Wow.
Wow. So now everybody who attended that are like, damn it, where's my copy?
Or find someone who is a member. If you know anyone in the press and, you know, in publishing.
And just play
reach out
dumb.
to
Just
them.
be like, hey, you remember that thing you went to? I really like that comic. I was wondering if I could just buy it off you for $50, you know? Just, you know, trying to play, you know, play dumb. There you go. Something is Killing the Children, the American Library Association version, limited to 1,000 copies. And you know how hot this book is right now. So that is crazy. All right, next up is one I really, really wanted when it came out. I'm so pissed because I collect these type of covers.
All right, next up, we've got Spawn, issue 237, the Trade Smart exclusive Todd McFarlane variant, originally published in 2013 from Image Comics. Now, rare Spawn books have been in high demand for years now. However, it's this past year where sales have went up a notch. This Trade Smart variant is a perfect example. 500 copies of this exclusive variant were created in November of 2013 specifically for a Todd McFarlane signing at a Hastings Trade Smart store in Colorado. Now, in a strange time where the signing didn't sell out, additional copies were sold through the store unsigned. In 2019, copies were pretty affordable, about $50. Then in April of 2020, raw copies jumped to 200 plus and created a huge surge in demand. Flash forward to this week, when a 9.8 CGC sold via auction for $1,825. This destroys the last 9.8 sale that was just last November for $424.
Yeah, so I am a collector of Day of the Dead covers. So any comic that comes out, Day of the Dead, and I remember I was like, I heard about this and I was like, man, $100, $200 seems kind of pricey. Now I'm like, it doesn't seem too pricey now.
No,
No. Any
not when you're
Spawn
seeing
variant.
$1,000 prices.
It just shocked me that there was a day when a Todd McFarlane signing just went, you know, it didn't have a full showing.
Wow.
And like, that wouldn't happen today. You know, it'd be like around the block.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, what the hell is a Trade Smart? What is that?
Trade Smart was Hastings. So Hastings was a bookstore. They did a short run of electronic stores in only certain cities, and Colorado was one of them. Everything's when Hastings went out of business. The electronic stores were first to go before the bookstores. So yeah, it was super limited, hard to find. You had to be in the know to even show up to these things.
Damn, you're not kidding. No wonder nobody showed up. Man, nobody at a damn electronic store called Trade Smart.
Right.
All right, so on the list,
Shop
Spawn
Smart, Shop Trade Smart.
That's right. Spawn number 237, the Trade Smart Todd McFarlane exclusive variant from 2013. Man, I just love the cover because of it looks like a Day of the Dead homage. Yeah,
That's cool.
All right, next up is
there's a pink regular one if you guys are looking for something more affordable.
There you go. So this is the purple one is the variant, and then the pink one is just a regular cover.
Yep,
but it's still
exactly.
exclusive to Trade Smart, or was that the
No,
one?
the pink was the regular open order.
Okay, so that was all right. So this one was only available through Trade Smart, and it was purple.
Correct.
All right, there you go, boys and girls. You learn something every day. Next up, most of you should have this book. Come on, we've been talking about it forever now.
Right. And I'm telling you, talking about making 20 times your money in 1 year. Look at that for an investment. Spider-Man 2099. This is the newsstand. Came out in 1992. This time last year, a newsstand of this book you could get for $5. $5. This week's a new raw high sale of $100. Okay. And a new 9.8 sale of $499 is a testament to the journey that over the past year that Spider-Verse 2 as Spider-Man 2099 gains in popularity. This book is great to jump on right now. And you really should have jumped on it a long time ago, the Spider-Man fans, because we've been talking about the Spider-Verse and the legs and everything. So shame on you.
You should have got this when you saw the
End
Spider-Man
screen.
2099 at the end of the
Exactly.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know,
Yep.
And you should have multiple copies of it.
Yeah, I do.
But this is still pretty. Yeah, this is still cheap for a newsstand. Honestly,
Yeah,
for this character is going to be he's going to be front and center in the next movie. So
Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
look at 1992.
yeah.
Newsstand was already starting to be pretty rare. I mean, if you look at 1990, it was 85% direct to newsstand. 1990 was 10 to 90%. So there you go. I mean, it was already starting to get rarefied air. All right, so we got one more. Man, this comic used to be all over the place. At least certain covers of it. We shall see. What is it?
This, my friends, is Superman number 75, the Platinum Edition. So, how many of you 90s fans poured money into the Death of Superman comic
So much.
I'm gonna retire.
only to have him come back a year later? There were many of us, right? So much so that the market values of another book, number 75, plummeted for decades. Though, with the power of nostalgia and some of the best Superman storylines, this death has risen significantly in price, limited to a mere 10,000 copies. This Platinum Edition just keeps hitting new highs, like this week's new high sale of $985 for a CGC 9.8.
Now
that was
this is
tongue in cheek. That was a mirror as a snarky mirror, a mere 10,000
Yeah.
copies.
Right,
this is
right.
the polybag, right? These were all polybagged, right?
They were all polybag, so that's the polybag. When you take it out, it looks like a gravestone. So it's like a speckled gray cover with a platinum S.
And and I don't want to push it. I mean, we've told you in the past, some of these poly bags, if you've, a lot of collectors are like, we're just kind of taught, don't take it out of the bag.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, when it's in the bag, you can't tell the imperfections. So, when you open the bag, thinking, oh shit, I got my Spider-Man 75, open up, boom, you got dings all over the spine.
But you could do the feel. You got to do
That's
the
what
feel.
I do. That's what I do. Yeah, I did that with my Static X, because the Static X apparently, the Static comic is apparently worth more in the bag, right? And so, you kind of touch the spine with your finger.
Do you feel any creases? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But man, I remember this book was all over the place. And when he came back, wasn't it like the blue electric version, or was it the mullet version? I'm trying to remember.
So the mullet version came back and he was depowered. And then it was like, as all the other Supermen were ruled out, because at a time it was like, who's the real reincarnated version of Superman? Between the four, it was Superboy,
That's right, yeah.
Cyborg, Steel. And then once he, I think, got his powers back, it did this crazy blue / red.
That was
Superman.
the worst.
That was
ever.
bad. Yeah.
That was the worst.
Excuse me. The worst was the electric Superman. That
That's it.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's
Yeah,
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like he had electric powers. Okay, so we have
In that blue
Superman,
suit?
Electro.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my
Right.
God, that
Oh.
was.
Awful.
Well, I mean, that was one of
Whose
the.
fault was that? Was that Grant Morrison?
No, I forget who wrote that. I'm sure that was not. It literally went from one of the best Superman stories for when he died. It was actually one of the best Superman stories we had ever read, because we cared about Superman for the first time in decades. And then he died, and then they did something just crazy and gave him mullets. And
Do you think it was because the sales were dropping on Superman? Is that why they?
well, it was all
decided to kill
ploy,
him off?
right?
Yeah.
It was a marketing ploy to bring back sales, which worked perfectly. That's exactly what it did. They just chose the wrong direction.
Let's be
Right,
honest.
so-
We were all suckers for it in 1992. So I mean, we
Oh,
all
for
fell
sure.
for it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I think I have is it the red one, right? The red polybag, is that the main one?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the first time I think there's one second print, I forget what issue of Action Comics it is, of him in the blue suit. There's a second print that sells for about $100. I'm blanking on the issue number, but there are some valuable editions in that run.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, boys and girls, let us go on to Cover
my
Price and
favorite
see what's shaking today. And Maddie's going to tell you about some new features that Cover Price has just unveiled. And if you haven't logged into your Cover Price recently, you got a significant bump in value. And Maddie's going to tell you why here in 1 second. Let's go full screen. And let's just go and we'll look at the shakers. And then when
Perfect.
I look at one of the shakers, we could look at the actual values of them to see what's going on here. I don't want to brag. I have 3 of the top 6 that are right there, but that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry.
4 of the top 8.
Yeah, but look at that Wonder Woman though. This Clone Wars, I gotta look at this. I gotta look at those Clone Wars, man. So this is the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano. Obviously, gonna get hot outside of canon. Now let's look at this, Maddie, and let's walk the people through what's been changed on it. So we look up the issue, and then down here you're gonna see the raw, and then you're gonna see what you see as a graded fair market value and a raw fair market value.
Yeah, so now you can see, and you can scroll down a little more to where it says the raw and graded prices. And here's one thing you'll see there. We have the most common grade. We've called things out a little clearer. So before, when we started the site, we were a little conservative with our averages. So we covered a couple months rather than focusing on, putting priority on the most recent sales, which undervalued a lot of books. And it was something that we, immediately wanted to fix, but it's like a house of cards, right? We built this foundation, and it took years to kind of like reformat it and fix just this one simple thing. So we were able to update that, and we were thrilled with it because it gives an accurate reflection of what books are worth right now. So we call it now fair market value. You'll see we changed the wording. The most common grade will change depending on the book. So it'll take whatever has the most graded copies sold. That's going to be the fair market value that focuses, because that's probably the copy you're going to find out.
Yeah, I like this also that you actually had to tell them what slabbed meant, like real recorded sales comics that have been professionally graded, certified, and slabbed.
Well, it's interesting because we did a big survey, and I would say 80% of our, the people that we surveyed didn't have a slabbed copy. So it's people don't realize that graded books are still somewhat of a niche market in collecting.
And just looking at this Clone Wars number 1, 6,500 back in March. Woof, man.
Yeah.
And it's
you'll see it's fair. It's more evenly balanced to reflect an accurate fair market value right now.
Well, let's look at the raw and then kind of get an idea of that. So look at that. We even have so when let's say this one that's sold on April 14th for it's a raw dog that's 9.4. Where do you guys I guess you base that grade on
So, a lot of our, when our books come in, we have all these algorithms that are pulling keywords, and if a seller puts the grading in their listing or in the header, it'll pull that grade and attach it to the grade in our system. So if it's clear, it's because no one listed it in there, and typically if it's a big book, we've all slabbed 1 million books, and we're pretty good graders on our own. So we'll assess it and give it a proper grade. If it's like a big book and they didn't properly grade it, we can kind of do a quick eye over and say, okay, that's a good solid 9.4.
Oh, Captain Britain.
Yeah, look at us, Captain Britain. Who's
I had a 9.4 of this like 3 years ago, and I sold it, and I'm so sad that I sold it.
Yeah.
Well,
did it have the mask?
You should be.
Yeah, it had the mask.
April 5th.
It had the mask.
It had the mask too.
It had the mask. 9.4.
Well, just to rub it in, let's look at some 9.4 sales and see what.
$5.95.
By the way,
Well, it shows you the fair market value right there.
Yeah. Matt, I am so glad you fixed that. That was my number one pet peeve.
Me too.
With CovrPrice.
Me too.
It really was.
it really bugged me every time
I
I
actually have a video in the editor where I compare, CovrPrice to some of your competition.
Yeah.
And that came up. So I'm so glad that it's still in the editor, because now I can add this footage from this video to say that this is fixed.
We're so happy that we fixed it. It was really big for us. And there's little things that we did. So if you were to add a book, like if you went back and clicked on any book and you wanted to add it to your collection.
I had this one. Here we go.
So if you click, just collection. So if you want to add it, you can now, if you add the comic, it should let you. If you go back to it, I guess you can now assign a grade to it, where before you couldn't assign a grade to your RAWs. Now you can.
Okay, so once you add it, then you
go
can
into
assign.
Your collection,
yeah,
and something we're working. This is another big update. We're doing a whole big update. Oh, there you go.
well, this is when it's
He's saying
graded.
You can
Yeah.
assign it. You can assign it.
Oh yeah,
now.
you can assign it in the other.
But once
side.
you've added it, then you have to go back and then assign it. So I better make sure I remove this so it doesn't mess with my collection because I don't have one.
You could do it within your collection. Yeah.
All right.
And then the other thing we have, like if you go to your collection, you'll see that graded books are called out a
Shield
little
your eyes, ladies and
differently.
gentlemen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's only 1,200 books in my collection too. So I did not expect that actually to go. All right, what did you want to look at,
Don't
Matt?
let your wife see that.
If you scroll down to go to your books, you'll see in your collection, you'll see a green bar now for your graded books. I think you got to click on a book, like go into
My collection, view my collection. I believe.
Yeah.
And that yellow, go up a little bit. Up.
yeah, view your anything that you have a graded book.
View,
of.
like my
Yeah.
collection stats.
Yeah. And then it down here,
Yeah.
they added.
So if you scroll down, you'll see your graded books. So, see right, there's now a green value ribbon.
So the red is raw, the green is
Yeah,
see there
down
it says
here for
CGC.
the, yeah.
Is
We used to have an overlay, so we changed that. So there's a lot of little things, but we have a even massive update that's coming in
Hey,
June.
these are one of my rare finds, boys and girls. This is the Canadian price variant.
Yeah, pay attention to Canadian variants because that's
right.
Everyone's been chasing newsstand, or that's the hot thing. This is the next hot thing.
I bought this in a
price variants.
9.6 because first time Ilyana Rasputin was magic, and it's a
Ooh,
Canadian
well
price
done.
variant. I'm waiting for that Dakota North Canadian price variant to jump. I'm telling you, boys and girls. So that is cool, man. Let's look at some more stuff from that's shaking today. Remember, guys, this list shakes. Excuse me. Well, it does shake every day, but the list
Every day.
changes on a daily basis. Tell me if there's anything that jumps. Wyona Earp? Are you kidding me?
what the hell is that?
So this is something we're going to talk about in the next newsletter.
Okay, well, let's not.
But
talk.
no.
All right.
Let's talk about it. So these Wyona Earp covers, through all these photo covers, convention and the regular retailer incentives, are all selling for $400 or $500 across all the series, and we're trying to figure out why. And we found out that there's a large female collector base that are chasing these down and paying hundreds of dollars for these covers because they're impossible to find. The print run for this series was like extremely low because not a lot of stores order these these show-based books.
I can't even find. I don't even know what channel the show is on, let alone the damn.
Right,
you know what I mean? But here's some of the other ones.
But go to that one right there, the city one, the Derby City.
Okay, Derby. Oh, look at that.
So that's another convention one. It's selling for I think $427
for a raw copy.
It's fascinating. Like I still have a list of books to like add into the site because I'm just going through it and there's like all these convention books.
Where the hell is Derby City Comic Con?
I have no idea. I don't even know what Derby City is. But.
I know. I'm like, what the hell? Because I thought Derby, maybe they were talking about their hats, but let's take a look at this cover. So it looks like the actual character and maybe the director or something, or one of the actors, because he doesn't look like he's.
Yeah, I've never watched the show. And what's interesting is like photo covers are historically terrible investments because they all do terrible. Like they're trash. But this is proving like if there's a strong fan base and this new collecting habit. I mean, you saw it with the Cobra Kai's, right? Those Cobra Kai New York City Comic Cons until IDW just blasted a bunch out and everyone got like 10 copies at a time. Drop down the value, but these books are impossible to find.
Yeah, because I have the Han Solo photo variant where it's actually old school, like Harrison Ford dressed as Han Solo. I was thinking, man, this has got to be cool. But I was like, I got to wait for that to come back around.
That was Star Wars Tales, right?
Yeah, and it's a Han Solo, from 1977.
Annual number 4, that red one.
Oh, yeah, this one. There was some spec on this before, right? First appearance of Batman Beyond in the DCU. This is the Art Germ second print variant. 900 bones for a 9.8.
That second print's really hard to find in high grade because it was a really small print run.
If I didn't tell you this was Art Germ, I could never guess this was Art Germ
It's early Archerm. That's
Exactly.
because current Archerm is all poses, and back then it was the more dynamic.
Yeah,
you know,
this
dynamic
actually looks a
art.
lot better, actually, to be honest with you. Because Archerm is great, but he has a tendency to make all the women look the same. You know, that's just the way I feel about it.
It's
you
like
know.
Campbell.
hold
You
on,
find a
go up.
niche.
Go up to that Batwoman. That's a raw copy.
Batwoman?
No, that
No,
one.
Batgirl. The red one. I'm sorry, the yellow one.
Yeah, you're
next
right.
to the
That's
Eternals.
Batman.
Yeah. Well,
It
I'm
was
sorry.
first
It's
appearance of-
first appearance of Batgirl. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Betty Kane, first appearance, 831 for raw copy. Look at that, 1961. It looks older than
that is-
1961. Because remember how all the Golden Age Batman books are all, and Superman Action Comics all have like yellow covers.
Yeah, that is great though.
Well, because they could only print 5 colors or something.
Exactly. Yeah. We've always talked about that. Like all the first like 20 issues of Action Comics are all like yellow covers, or Superman comics are all yellow covers.
Right.
I think same with Batman too. But it's amazing when you think about like Batman. It was in 1961. They're already on issue 139. Right. So so that's which one is Batgirl?
That one's swinging.
The top one, the blonde one.
Well, who's that in the bottom then? Who's the chick on the bottom?
That's other Kane. What's her name?
Cassandra?
No.
Gil?
Blank over her
I
name.
don't know, man. Yeah. Come on, Brian. You're the Bat person.
Got to be Batwoman.
Batwoman, Batgirl. There you
Was-
go. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what her name was.
So I think this book is going to really start getting up there, along with the first appearance of Deathstroke. Because everything is talking about, Snyder Cut and, his one small appearance. Now they want to see a Deathstroke appearance. So $6.50 for a 9.8 newsstand. Not bad at all. I think Deathstroke is a lot of people are going to start getting that. Hey, look, I'm
Hey,
surprised.
look at that, side by side.
Yeah. We shall see. Any guesses on who is going to be the guest cameo tonight, Matt? What do you think?
Mephisto. Definitely Mephisto.
That's what I've been saying all the
Stop
time,
it.
man.
Come on, man.
Come on.
That's funny.
Steve Rogers is brought back to life by Mephisto. That's what
Oh
I'm
my
saying.
God.
There you go.
It's gonna be Agatha.
At
Yeah.
this point, it's like I don't know. Let's just watch it, and it
Exactly,
is
yeah.
fun to guess. I mean, Omega Red hasn't showed up. That was a big bust, right? That's the Mephisto of this season,
Ooh, banana cover.
and that one jumped too. $5.50 is a pretty good price for that because it's been at $3.75 for the past year.
Yeah,
Wow.
these negative variants that John Tyler Christopher kind of cornered the market on.
And there's some books that just look amazing in person, and that is one of them. It's
Yeah.
such a pretty book.
I'm telling you, if you really like the the negative variants, go look for what John Tyler Christopher, one of his earliest ones he did for Witchblade.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like a Day of the Dead, and it's a Witchblade, like I don't know.
Well,
Hey,
John
look at
Tyler has some amazing covers. One of my favorite covers of his is his Spider-Man 2099 cover. It's fantastic, and you cannot find it on eBay. I've been watching eBay for about 3 years, and one copy has popped up.
He is a very shrewd marketer of his comic books. Like the story I was told about the Star Wars, excuse me, was that he kept the rights to Boba Fett and Han Solo, I want to say, for C2E2. And he says, I'll do all these other ones, but I want these to sell on my own. And sure enough, those were the hottest ones. Because he knew how, can you imagine that Boba Fett now with the Mandalorian and the Boba Fett show and everything?
He told me that story at a con in Hartford. He had to take out a second mortgage on his house to buy it.
Yeah.
To get the rights
Well,
for
that was a good investment.
Yeah, totally.
I love this run by Captain Marvel, like 25 up to like 34 or 35. Some great Starlin Captain Marvel stories on here. Wow, $5.99 for 9.4. That's awesome.
Everything's going up. I mean, it's crazy right now.
Yeah. Our friend Longshot.
Yeah, that had a big sale. There was a graded sale, $6.50. Yeah.
$6.50. I got to go look at the 5 copies that I have.
There was a newsstand, I think, that hit $8.50 yesterday or 2 days ago.
Really?
Oh,
There's
no, I guess
there's a
not.
Canadian variant that has no sales data at all.
Yeah, that one's tough to find. I think it was the
Yeah.
other regular newsstand.
Let's see the newsstand. Newsstand raw.
No, I guess not. I guess it was
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So, like I said, man, we could probably do this for a good 3 hours. Anytime I go into CovrPrice.com, I just fall down the rabbit hole and you just stay there forever. We'll look at one more. Anything you guys want to see while I'm perusing through here?
No. Matt, I know this is
How many times has he homaged that cover? I mean, come on, man.
Oh, God. Roger would know. He's got a short box full of them. Matt, is there any way that you guys have been talking about signatures and what that would, or is that just too nebulous to say you can't put a price on signatures?
Well, we have a way to integrate it in. It's impossible to do a great
100%. I agree with you.
Because it's so dependent on who signed it, if they did a sketch, where they signed it. If there's a consistent book like Todd McFarlane signing Spawn 1, that's easy to track. Or if it's Adam Hughes is another one that signed a lot of his books, that's an easy one to track. Stan Lee, Spider-Man, Stan Lee, X-Men, stuff like that. But anything outside of that, it's Wild Wild West. And
so
I'll sign your Adam Hughes books for you. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Matt, do you track? Do you see that though on sales though? Do you see like yellow label sales? Like
the sales are actually all in our system. They're just quarantined.
Correct, because you can't put a price on it, right?
Yeah. They're in a little pocket. So if we ever do add it, we can start bringing them in. But
I didn't do too bad on this. I bought a 5.5 Strange Tales 110 for 2,400. So I'm looking pretty good on this one now. First appearance of Doctor Strange, but I got it for Paste Pot Pete, to be honest with you. I'm
exactly. That's why you put him on the cover.
Yeah. All right, so that's it, man. We're running up on an hour now. I'll go back to full screen so you can see all of our beautiful heads. And look at that, 2 bald heads on one show.
Look at that, man. You don't get better than that. You don't get. I don't want a lower level too, man. You know,
we lost Ryan. I don't know what happened.
Oh my God, Matt! I was like twins, Matt. If you had a goatee, it would be.
There you go.
Oh my God.
I try. I can't grow hair at all. So.
Right.
Guys, if you haven't, go check out CovrPrice. It's awesome. Once again, also, if you have dedicated your years and years and years into your CLZ, you can export your CLZ file and it can be imported into CovrPrice. And it's quite simple. So just hit up, shoot me a message, or you can email, I think, John at CovrPrice.com. Yeah, John at CovrPrice. Yeah, he's like, send it to him. Let him do it. Set up email. Right. It's a very small file, too. Just Google export CLZ, CLZ to text file or Excel file, and you'll see it. It's easy to do. And my file was like 900K. It's a really small file. So there you go, man. Yep. Any last words, Matt?
No, thanks. I mean, we have, we're going to take things to the next level this summer. So we have a big update. This is just one update that we were itching to do. And it's step 1 to making sales as accurate and making your collection as accurate as possible. And I know Comic Book Human has been, asking about, saying that he's missing part of his collection. That's definitely stuff we're working on, some back-end stuff, image scanning to help pick up those missing sales, because there's still, there's a lot of digging we have to do sometimes for some of those missing books. Sometimes you just need to tell the system to look for it, and then it's fine. But yeah, that all these little things, all these back end things, a lot of that stuff is going to be updated this summer. So we're looking forward to that.
It's a lot of work, guys. A lot of database work, but appreciate Matt for coming on. Every time there's a breakdown, go check it out. It's such a seamless, but you don't need an app, by the way. If you load it onto your browser on your phone, it works just as well.
Absolutely.
There you go. Any last words, Otto?
No, thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate you joining us tonight. A lot of fun. I love all the data that you're always kicking out to us. I'm on the site right now, adding some books here and there. That's good to see when your investment goes up in price. But thank you very much, you guys. I just wanted you to check out the latest 3 Men in the Basement on Monday night. We had Paulie Strong, the father on it, Mr. Jimenez, talking about his son and childhood cancer. What you can still do to donate. The 3 Men in the Basement donated $2,500 on behalf of the entire IG comic book community. So please check that out. There are still ways that you can donate for Paulie Strong. Got a video dropping tonight. I bought 10 X-Men #1s for $3. $3 each, and let's find out how many Deadpool rookie cards I got. We'll find out.
You mean X-Force #1s?
X-Force #1s, yeah. I found the short box. Short story long is that I have too much ADD to look through all these. I just grabbed 10 of them. I looked at the guy. I go, $30. He goes, $30. All right.
You better sell them now, man. That trend may be gone very soon, man. You sell those rookie cards now, man.
Right. Yeah.
Before Matt, when do you think they're gonna actually make comic book NFTs? The non-fungible.
Oh, it's happening already. We get some coming into the site, and there was, I can't remember what character it was, but it was one character. It was limited. It was an NFT limited to 1,500, which doesn't make any sense because it's not original.
Yeah, NFT. The whole idea of NFT art is you are the original owner, and you have a line, a link to it that says you own it.
Yeah, they had a run of 1,500, and it was selling for $1,000 each. And I was like, I don't know how this stuff works. I still need to look into it, but it is a thing right now.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
It's
so
weird.
basically, so on NFTs for art, it's basically it could be an art, a GIF, a meme, but you are the sole owner. Even though somebody else can have a copy of it, you have proof that you have it in a link, like some type of digital currency link to show that you are the sole owner.
It's a chain link. Yeah, it's what is it?
Link.
Blockchain.
Yeah, blockchain. It's just another rabbit hole for you to go down. I'm telling you, man. But I was thinking, like, you know how they're doing the basketball top hoops things for like basketball highlights. Like, why can't they do that for comic book movies? Like, you know, the moment, like, you know, Captain America picks up Thor's hammer, like that NFT. Anyway. I'm just saying, in the future, comic books will be a tradable commodity. It's going to be like, you know, you'll be able to just use your comics as money on some type of platform.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's happening. JB, any last words? Have you given away the PS5 yet?
No, I got to get to 5,000 subscribers, but we're getting there. The channel is growing thanks to you, the viewers. This chat is on fire. And I want to start by saying thanks to the chat. Every week, this Thursday chat is just awesome. And you guys make this show. Thanks for showing up. Matt, thank you for showing up today because you added so much to today's show, and I hope you can be part of this show going forward. And Tivo, Otto, thanks for having me, man. I'm dropping a new video Saturday. That's the one you need to comment on if you want to be entered into the PS5 drawing. It's my top 10.
I want one.
So there you go.
I want one.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Got to watch it. All right, boys and girls. So remember, tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern or 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon. This drops on KRS Comics website. Make sure it's going to be for pre-order. The last Star Wars book sold out in about a minute or two, so you can use discount code LOTLB and get 15% off. Order a set, order 3 sets, whatever, man. But you get a nice little discount. So there you go. Thank you guys all for joining us, man. I'll see you possibly Sunday for Letters from the Long Box with Mikey Sutton. Until then, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes.
There you go.
Out.
Now let's do this. Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice.
Oh, how so?
I'll be too